Oh yeah, it's that time, 4 p.m. on a Friday. You know what time it is. Ooh, it's time to get weird with the background beats. Internet!
Hello,
It's
everyone.
Jimmy from the internet.
Ooh.
He's behind me. Can we trust him? Probably. All right, what's up, everybody? Frank Dominguez, first one to the chat once again.
We spent a solid 5 minutes talking about how is that even possible. I gave a legit attempt 2 days ago. Wasn't even close. I was like fourth. Not even close. And I was refreshing the button. You know, I was like, okay, he's going to go live soon. Refresh. So I don't know. I mean, maybe... Ooh. Has anyone asked him how fast his internet connection is? Maybe he's on like fiber, like T1 fiber legit.
I'm on fiber. I'm on fiber optic, so maybe that's what it is.
Hey, Jimmy. Can you unplug that gyre pump or hit the off button so it doesn't do that while the water's low?
The gurgler while the water's low.
There's a button there.
You Googleize it, man.
Just push the button. Push and hold the power button. All right. We're good. You got it. All right.
On the magical mystery tour.
Been doing
here
plumbing things, and it's a little loud, and I didn't want it to ruin the show. And
with the 800, with the 800 in the background, with the newly added archer fish, which I have to say are probably the most interesting thing that's ever happened on the internet.
I think it's pretty cool. I've already started getting the comments of why.
Of why?
Yeah, why would you do such a lame fish?
Because archer fish are dope.
That's what I said, or that's what I think.
They're not lame fish. They're awesome fish. All right, well, let's stick to the show format here and say hi to a couple of people real quick. And then, of course, we'll naturally trail off into ramblings for sure. Jim Meeker is here, making it in just behind Frank. Nisi of the North is here, somehow made it in second. Amazing. Even with the Alaska internet.
Yes.
Which I think is powered by Moose. I'm not 100% sure.
It's at least paid for by Moose Crunch, the food.
It's a peanut butter Moose Crunch coming to a town near you.
#1 export of Alaska. Turns out it's Moose Crunch. You didn't know.
It's made of like moose tendon or something.
Yeah.
It's a delicious Aleut breakfast. All right.
Frank Dominguez is now in our attic, or my attic.
Is what?
Frank Dominguez is now in my attic. That's how he knew we were going live. The dude's all over.
I will. All right. If he's in the attic here, I will say your attic here is much less comfortable than my attic.
Oh, you got a sweet crib for an attic?
I do.
Yeah, but that's all furnished. Yeah, that's not like I don't consider that an attic.
Oh.
I consider that the next story of your house.
The upstairs, but there's attic parts off to the side.
See?
Yeah.
Okay. And they're spacious and luxurious.
Spacious and luxurious. Yes, fine aged wood.
I mostly have, I'm guessing there's a hint of asbestos, lots of fiberglass, and then tons of flame retardant paper insulation that I have blown all over the place.
Yeah, you got the blow-in up there. I don't have the blow-in. So it makes it a little easier if you were to make a crib in my attic, you know what I mean?
Just kind of big baller like that. Was it last year? I don't know. I got to look, Facebook tells me everything. Facebook will tell me on New Year's Eve whether I blew insulation in last year or the year before.
Oh.
But
yeah.
literally is like everyone else is
that.
like, let's party. I'm just making it rain with insulation.
Making it rain, insulation style.
Yep.
I mean, you're thinking green, thinking about your energy bill, right?
For sure. I was going broke. It was like $400 a month to heat via electrical heater.
Electrical heat out there. Yeah, I don't doubt that for a second. That's brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vicky and I will be doing blow-in in ours. Surprisingly enough, our house is almost 100 years old and has not a lick of insulation in it.
When you say almost, how close?
Well, it was born in 1924, so it's almost 100 years old.
Yeah.
93.
I'll give it that.
You know, I mean, what is that? It's not an octogenarian. That's like a
an octogenarian.
Yeah, octogenarian's like somebody between 80 and 89. You know.
I was not aware that that is a real thing.
Yes, I'm trying to think what's the 9 version of that. I don't know. But either way, let's say hi to everybody real quick. Of course, Mellow Moogle here in the chat. The Plywood Pelican is fairly new to our show. Showing up on time and very timely. We appreciate that. 54 Punchy is back from whatever weird sabbatical was going on. I think it was a work sabbatical, which we don't encourage that around here. Wait a minute. It's in the thumbnail. Swing a hammer around and do weird stuff. Yeah. We do encourage that. Okay. All About DIY is back. What's going on? Good to see you here. Este Glez is here. Frank Dominguez. We'll just keep saying Frank Dominguez because I'm going to keep reading it. Jennifer J. Sarchicino is here. Wushu Jimmy Brown. BC Fishroom. CJ Black. Ben Border 09. The Turtle Girl. Sid Erickson. Bill Elsden. What's up, my man? I think we met Bill Elsden in Chicago. He came in. I said his name wrong again. Right in front of him.
If he didn't have a YouTube, like, Fish Fam tag on, I got no chance remembering.
I think he did. He had a Fish Fam tag on, and I said his name wrong.
Oh.
Again.
So now I got no excuse. Now, the name tags are a bad idea, because I don't have any excuse for forgetting people.
Yeah. There was a lot of people there that day. It was a
it was kind of a blur for me, honestly.
He came on Saturday. It was a blur. So let's see here. Steven Skoglund, Jeff Rowe is here. DH Aquatics, what's up? Rabalcar. That's an easy one to remember, right? Rabalcar.
I feel like that's got to be related to, like, Falco.
It's like Falcor.
Yeah, Falcor. Right. I was like, Falcor.
That's right.
To the skies.
To ride a flying dog dragon thing. If anybody out there doesn't know what Falcor is, you're missing out on some 80s gold right there. You should definitely look that up.
Who was it? Jimmy, I believe, because he's only like 16. I think he said he had never seen Flight of the Navigator.
Oh, really?
I've seen it 50 times.
What was the other movie? You were just saying you'd never seen it. I was like, what's wrong with you? No,
there was Aquatic.
No, this was like an 80s classic where I was like, what?
You know they're remaking the Flight of the Navigator.
There was some movie recently where
it back.
I felt less of you as a human for it.
Yeah. I don't think I think it'll be a different kid.
You've seen Short Circuit? Was it Short Circuit?
Yes, I've seen Short Circuit.
Okay, there was something like in that classic line of like those movies where I'm like, what? What? You haven't seen this? Like the guy that's seen like every movie 700 times, for me to have seen something he hadn't seen. Yeah. Obviously, I've blocked it out of my memory. It was so traumatic.
That's right. you're like I can't remember this memory. I can't have it.
You can't relive these days.
Ooh, Kevin Keener liked Morla the Ancient One. I agree with that. I liked almost everything about the Never-Ending Story.
Yeah.
I think I liked almost everything about it. You know, even the kid that was reading the book who was really irritating, I still kind of liked that he was like irritating. You know,
was
what
that
I mean?
Kevin Arnold?
Like, he did like a really good job.
Was it
of
Kevin
being
Arnold?
Irritating, you know.
From the Wonder Years, is that kid the Kevin Arnold? Was he the one?
No,
reading
I think people.
No, that's from Labyrinth.
Have confused him.
It's not the same kid?
It's not the same kid.
For real.
I
would have put a substantial size of money that it was the same person. Not even kidding you.
I think
But we are thinking of the same person. Like, he looks like... Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm at least in that realm.
They look a lot alike. But that was the 80s casting.
I feel like I
mean?
have
If
to
you
Google
look at
that.
a lot of those
I feel
kids,
like that's not a true statement.
If you look at a lot of those kids from the 80s, they were casting similar lookalikes.
After the show, I will research. Because my world's turning upside down because I thought that was a truth. You know, when you have a truth and then it goes away.
When you have a truth.
Like, those are one of the few known things I knew in this world.
And then it gets smote by the actual truth.
Mm-hmm. That's what you get for hanging out with the smart peeps.
That's right.
It's his brother. Is that a true thing? Is it his actual brher?
That's his brother.
Or am I being trolled by Wes Barshinger?
Man,
after the show, I'm going to spend way too much time learning that it's like, nope, it's random guy.
That is so weird that it might be true. You know what I mean? Where you're like, seriously?
Yeah, I don't know.
Fred Savage and Ben Savage?
The Kids from the Wonder Years is in The Princess Bride, not Labyrinth. Yes, so, yes, that's what I'm thinking of. He's reading the book, right?
What's that? The kid that's reading the book.
Yeah, but that's from The Princess Bride, they're saying, and I believe that to be true.
What's from The Princess Bride?
The kid reading the book.
The kid reading the book is from The Never-Ending Story. But the kid having the book read to him is the kid. So in The Princess Bride, like the grandpa is like reading the story to the kid. That's
he's
Fred
sick, home from
Savage.
school.
That's the kid from
So
the
that
Wonder Years.
is the Wonder Years.
That's the Wonder Years.
That's
kid.
who I was thinking of, because that's
For
why my
sure.
brain was warping, going, if that kid's not the kid from the Wonder Years, I don't know what's real anymore.
That is the kid from the Wonder Years.
Okay.
But the kid from the Never-Ending Story, people are saying that that's his brother, Ben Savage.
I have no idea, because I was mixing up movies.
Is it Bob Savage or
Savage
Dan
something.
Maybe it's Dan Savage. Ben Savage and Fred Savage.
Did you Google it, Jimmy?
Ben and Fred?
Did you Google it?
Did you Googleize it?
I didn't Googleize it.
Google it, Jimmy.
You just know it?
We'll keep the
Is
we'll
it
keep
really?
the show going.
All right.
And if this is what we have Jimmy around
This
for.
is really one of those things
I
that,
got
like,
Tinder.
you say keep the show going, and I think this is almost the best part of the show.
Yeah, I
where we're
just-
just wildly confused and playing on people's car radios, you know? And
If
they're
that's
like,
his brother, I don't know what to do with myself.
it would be
Yeah,
difficult.
It's Ben and Fred. So Ben
No
is
way.
from Boy Meets World, and Fred Savage is his brother.
But who's the kid?
I mean, from
the
Boy Meets
Never-Ending
World, we
Story?
only remember Corey, because he was the most important part of Boy
That's
Meets
true.
World.
That's Ben Savage.
That's me, Corey.
That's
And
Ben,
so what do you want me to look up?
the Never-Ending Story kid.
Yeah, the Never-Ending
That's
Story.
reading
The kid.
book, not Atreyu.
Yeah.
The other kid.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the Atreyu kid went. All right, this is screwed. You're
Brett
right.
Oliver
You're
is
right.
the kid
This
in the
is
Never-Ending Story.
screwed. This is screwed.
I tried to tell you, but you.
Oh, Candy
You know.
Overhaul says to read the chat. Oh, The Princess Bride, that kid. All right, that movie. The beginning of that movie is hilarious. Oh, The Princess Bride, by the way, is a fantastic movie. If you don't like The Princess Bride,
Jimmy's never seen it.
you've never seen
I'm kidding.
Hey guys, that's what we call a throwback or a callback. And I'm that good. I'm that good.
Man.
I got gotten.
Oh,
Inconceivable.
all right.
Yeah, you never go into a land war with the Chinese, right? Okay. Well, either way, maybe someday we'll figure out who those kids are, those child actors, or maybe not.
It's my strong suit.
Although Atreyu actually is a pretty good rock and roll band if you're into the heavy rock and roll, featuring a drummer singer. If you've ever seen that before, they're like
I feel like you'd be winded the whole
like
time.
a
But
strong
wait,
metal
doesn't-
band, and I saw him live. And I will say, I didn't realize that the drummer was the singer.
Doesn't Def Leppard do that too? Doesn't that guy sing
No, that guy just has one arm.
backup vocals? I swear he sings some.
That guy just.
I know
has
he's
one
only
arm.
got one arm, but
Well,
I swear he does
it's 'cause
backup
the old,
vocals.
You know
or
the old
something,
joke.
too.
It's like what sucks and has 7 arms.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
I am trying to start never-ending fights.
All right. But yeah, when I did see Atreyu live, the drummer was the singer, and I was like, what?
I've seen that Atreyu live.
You saw Atreyu? Yeah, they're pretty good, huh? I was impressed. Check them out. I don't know if they're still a band anymore. They might not be. But
Drummers
let's
always quit, so
see
they can't
here.
be.
So one piece of business I wanted to get out of the way real quickly. I do not have the Patreon list here of the patronizers, but I do want to say thank you to everyone who is supporting the show. And I want to say we are up to 116 patronizers.
That's quite a
and-
bit, because last time you were here, which was the week before we went to Chicago,
Right.
we were trying to get you to 100.
We were trying to get to 100 by the end of the
All right.
month, and I think we just hit it. Either
Yeah.
we just hit it, or it was so close, like screw it. And
It
feel
was
good about
lagging
it.
behind or something like that, and
Yeah.
things happen.
You know, it's jet lagging. You know, the Patreon page was jet lagging.
Flynn's totally lost because he's like 15 and doesn't know what we've been talking about the entire time.
We've been talking about fantastic movies that you all should see.
Yes.
You actually, all those movies you could take your kids to see.
The
I think.
Eagles was the drummer singer. I knew it. I knew
The
there was
Eagles
something
is
like
the
that.
drummer
Yeah,
singer.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he is.
Okay.
But then again, like everybody sings in the Eagles.
Yeah.
You know, they're all
yeah.
harmonizing.
I will say, there's never been a truer statement than Kyle saying, "You look like you're from the band Real Big Fish."
Who?
You.
Me?
Yes, and that
I saw
rings
Real
very
Big,
true.
I saw Real Big Fish earlier this year.
I haven't seen him since high school.
And I will tell you, I look nothing like those haggard dudes.
Maybe
I'll tell you
now.
that.
Maybe
I'll
now.
tell you that. I was in the crowd going, wow. those guys are having some
like,
problems.
We're the same age.
Those guys might
What
be making
happened?
some bad decisions. Because I met those guys in like '98, and they were real fresh-faced.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe
So fresh
I'm
and
not
supreme.
100% fresh-faced as I was back then, but those dudes was looking haggard.
A lot
But-
of trumpets, you know. You get that many trumpets around your ears, it's bound to age you.
It could be the hearing damage could age you, right? All right. All right. Back to serious
Maybe
business,
we'll
you guys.
talk-
This is the Friday show.
Ooh, but now we're talking about The Dark Crystal by Jim Henson.
Oh, and-
Have you seen?
yeah. Have you seen The Dark Crystal?
Yes.
Okay,
All
okay,
right.
he's seen
We're just
that
gonna
too.
keep movie checking Jimmy until we can really make fun of him about something.
Till we can find something that he
Yeah.
hasn't seen yet.
He's seen everything. When I figure it out, I will come back and tell you guys. But there is a movie where I was flabbergasted that he hadn't seen it. So, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's something huge too. It's not like, it's not like
it's like Star Wars or something.
Seen it.
yeah, you see, yeah, but it's something of that level where it's like
Have you seen Dune?
Doom?
Dune.
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 No.
What about Tremors?
David Lynch's
I watched
Dune.
Tremors 1, 2, and 3.
David Lynch's
Okay.
Dune.
All
You've
right.
never seen that? Oh,
But I know what the cover looks like.
we should hang out and watch that.
Wait, someone that said Alien. Didn't you watch Alien vs Predator here and you'd never seen
I
it
watched
before?
Alien Covenant here, but I've never seen Alien 2 and 3.
All right, but
You've
that's
never seen Alien 2? Aliens?
that's not the one. That's not the big one.
That's a
But
good
yes,
one.
that surprised me
That's a good one. How many pop references come from Aliens? You know,
a lot.
like game over, man. Like that's
No way, dude.
that guy's dead now. He's not gonna make any more of those. You know, you should catch up.
I'll say this: Jimmy says he's not even that big of a fan of King of the Hill.
No,
He admitted that last night.
Brad Pitt's in it. How can you not be a fan?
I'm just saying, there's a reason he's not sitting here today and I am, because he's this close to on the way out. I mean, I've modeled my life after being Hank Hill.
Goonies? Have you
So-
seen Goonies?
Yes.
You've seen Goonies.
I just love how many more like random '80s movies can we just keep naming? Have you seen?
There's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How about The Lost Boys?
What's it on?
You seen
That
The
one's a
Lost
great
Boys?
one. I mean, I think I had to read that book even.
Phil Emerson.
All of Corey Haim's
Phil Emerson says The Deer Hunter. Have you seen Deer Hunter? I don't think Deer Hunter was the 80s though. I think that was
No, I didn't watch
77.
Deer Hunter.
You haven't seen Deer Hunter? It's weird. It would be weird to watch it now.
I heard
You know,
it was weird.
it is weird. But here's a good one, and I know the answer to this. Oh crap, where'd it go? Blade Runner. I know you've seen Blade Runner because
Yeah.
we both talked about that one. And if you haven't seen the new Blade Runner yet, I would
haven't
encourage
seen the new
anyone
one.
to go see it. It's amazing. This weekend we're gonna go see Thor because I got to catch up with you guys. Vicky and I have a hot
Oh,
date.
you had to get a ride back. I was like, why didn't you come with us? And I was like, oh yeah, you were staying in Chicago.
We were staying in town, and to be honest, like Eric and Iris and myself were kind of like, we could, but the main reason wasn't the driving. It's my lovely future bride, Victoria. If I wanted to go see Thor without her, that
I didn't realize them was fighting words.
I don't know that they're fighting words, but it would be disappointing because she wanted to see that movie. So we're going. We got a hot
Yeah.
date. We got a hot date tomorrow with a 9:30 matinee. How you like me now? Who's gonna eat
Like
like
AM?
omelet sandwiches in the morning and go to
AM?
Yeah,
They do that?
they do that.
It's not just like I thought that show was reserved for bring your kids that plan to scream the entire time, get them out of the way at 9:30 so you don't ruin the theater for everyone the rest of the day. Isn't that what that show is reserved for?
I don't know, but I'll
I
tell
think you
this
might be
much.
in for a surprise,
Well,
buddy.
the theater that we go to. So check this out. You get reserved seating, so you get to reserve your seat,
Yeah.
like at a game. It's a big recliner that you sit in.
Mm-hmm.
And you can fully recline if you want when you're
All right,
watching.
all right.
Not a bad seat in the house because you get to pick the good seat that you want.
Fair enough.
So
All right then.
every time we've gone down
Still
in the
9:30 in the
morning,
morning. That's ridiculous.
I think it's 9:35.
I mean, for you
It's
get up
either
at 4 o'clock in the morning,
9:35
so it's halfway through your day. But
I think it's the 9:35 showing, or hold on, let me check. I don't want to misquote myself. It's not like anybody would be able to figure out and buy all the tickets or something.
we're gonna crash it.
Oh no, we're going 11:20. Oh, that's nicer. That means we get to sleep in tomorrow.
Mhm.
But I got a date with the Thor movie with Victoria tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited for that. Over the weekend, we've got other numerous things we got to do running around town. Not a ton of fish tankery stuff other than some basic maintenance over the weekend. We're going to be doing that, and so
I have a whole sump rebuild that I'm gonna try to do tomorrow, so that thing quiets down. But that's a lie because I realized I got to do my own live stream tomorrow, so I'll probably do that. And then I have Nerd Night, where I'm gonna play a bunch of board games tomorrow night.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And definitely look forward.
Even
to that.
Jimmy's down with the Nerd Night.
The Nerd Night.
Yeah, I don't even have to pay him, and he wants to hang out. That's how fun Nerd Night is.
You don't have to pay him to show.
I always have to be clear of like, just so you know, I'm not paying you to do this. You know, like you, because it's always weird. Like, no, you don't have to do this. But no, I want to. All right then, we're on board. So.
Oh, here we go. Real Genius. Have you seen that?
Real Genius? No.
With Val Kilmer? It's like Val Kilmer's first movie.
The biggest thing I was surprised about is when Jimmy moved here, he's got a movie collection, and it's all the oh, I'm trying to think of his name now. God, I'm ruining it because I can't think of his name. It's the killer chef. He plays a chef and everything, and he's always the killer. Oh man,
who?
I'll think of it. Give me a minute.
Who? Who's in it?
That's the problem. I can't think of his name.
Oh,
So that's what's killing it.
there's a killer chef.
He always plays a chef, and I want to say Van Damme, but it's not Van Damme. It's
Time Cop?
RoboCop. How about no?
He travels in time. You see.
I know someone in the chat will know.
And
it.
he's a
They'll know
cop.
it.
Double Impact?
He's like a quasi actor. God,
It's a
who is
film.
it?
It's a film.
I'll think of it.
Okay, so let's Mage Nights on Nerd Night. Turtle Girl's asking, is that an AMC? We have one here. It's very nice. Yes, it is an AMC, and they are quite nice. Wushu's asking the Terminator. Sid Erickson, Lethal Weapon. I think he's seen the Terminator and Lethal Weapon. The Big Fish. Jaws. There's no way he hasn't seen
I remember
Jaws.
now. Yes, now I finally. Yes, Jimmy has a giant Steven Seagal collection of movies.
Really?
Yeah, he moved him from Ohio to here of
Like-
his treasured possessions.
Like hard copies?
yeah, the DVD's in the thing.
This isn't true. I'll let him run that joke for too long.
It's pretty good because if you watch the new,
Executive decision?
if you watch the movies that he's making now, you might actually be a fan of them because they are the funniest thing that you have ever seen. It's literally like the production's.
That Tommy
The
gun
production is
shooting
like-
knives.
Yeah, the production is like maybe 40 grand or something. It's like we have a camera and some people around, so let's make a movie. It's weird.
Yeah,
They're
and 5 of the
so-
grand's going to Steven Seagal's pay.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how bad they are. And every movie, he's like all fat and swollen up, like maybe he has like some real serious health problems.
I mean,
kind
he
of
is a killer
situation.
chef, so maybe he's
It
really
was
good
some-
at cooking, you know. and
murdering
he didn't
chef.
get enough video or enough
That's right.
movie contract.
Hey, don't you know that I'm a chef?
I think he snapped it.
I feel like he's always got to hold a knife against his own like forearm too.
Gets his
Like
own forearm so he can.
he's
shank
chopping
people all
tomatoes. He's
awkwardly.
chopping tomatoes this way. Like that doesn't even make sense.
How is that a legitimate? That's not a chopping maneuver. You're gonna have carpal tunnel in like a week.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Oh, sorry. Don't mean to make fun of Steven Seagal. He's a fantastic.
Oh, I've been sucked into plenty of his movies.
He's a
Let's be real
fantastic
here.
law
Yeah.
enforcement official. He's apparently a police officer in Texas or something. It's completely bizarre.
I feel like if I was pulled over, I'd be like, "Is for real?
Right.
Like,
is this actually happening?
yeah,
Are
is
you-
this like cameras?"
There's probably cameras around.
Sir, I really need to stop lighting those fireworks. But it's Steven Seagal.
Gotta shoot off these fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important. As you guys know, Friday is the fan question day. Ask us whatever questions you want. Obviously, if they are beyond the beyond.
I haven't seen many questions yet. I think that's why we've gone
As
so far
far
off
as
track.
you know, let's not be crass here because we're not crass. But whatever questions you guys got, go ahead and throw them in the chat. We'll do our best to answer them. The first question I have here from our patronizer, Jim Meeker. and I just lost it because my phone went back to sleep. Hold on a second. Here it is right here. Woo! Jim's asking, what is montmorillonite clay? What is it used for? Does it do anything? And is bentonite clay the same thing?
Well, I don't know if it's the same thing, but the clay is for making sweet caves in art class, or adding an iron source to your substrates. Bros.
Yep.
But I don't know, bentonite clay? I wonder, because I don't know enough, but you can spend a ridiculous amount of money and add fine powdered clays into your koi pond, you know, where they're like, check this one out. This one comes in a bottle. It's $90. And I don't know what type of clay is going into there.
Right.
I'm just watching my poor flagtail be chased by those tiger barbs. You guys see that? Right behind Joel's head? I'm going to have to take that flagtail out.
Okay, montmorillonite is more often than not used as a supplement that you see in typically like flower gardening. You wouldn't use it like in, you know, vegetable or anything like that, but if you're trying to supplement, you know, a very specific, like a specific color of flower, like you're trying to kind of make them more robust, basically, like make your redders red, your yellows yellower, and I believe, and I wouldn't necessarily quote me on this, but I think it was the Dutch that came up with their tulip manufacturing, is they found that adding this in a little bit kind of stabilized soil and stuff like that. It is I think a polysilicate,
Obviously.
Pilosilicate or something like that. And it's typically mined in the Americas. It's typically mined in Utah, is where the area where it's most easily and readily found. It's essentially, basically what they do is they kind of refine it and pound it down. And one of the groups that they've found a use for it would be like what was that word I was about to say? Makeup. And like face creams and stuff like that. So like the facial mask, right? That you're like trying to get a little mineral shine, a little good for your skin.
Your T-zone.
Often women use it for that. It's essentially a clay that has a ton of nutrients in it. It's basically got tons of minerals in it, and it's a great little supplement that won't promote like algae growth or any of that kind of stuff. It's really readily available. Normally when I buy a bag of it, it's like a big or not a big, but the medium-sized potato chip bag, you know what I mean? Like it's not the tiny,
it doesn't come in a block?
It's not the tiny fun size. I get it in a nice powder.
Oh.
Yeah, I get it in a powder. But
if you added the water, it'd become like that block type substance, right?
It would if you added the water and then like maybe baked it or let it dry, it would become like a little block. I've never done that because I've always just used it as the powder.
Maybe you got to hit it with, what do they call that stuff? The slip? You know?
Yeah.
Give it the slip.
But I've added it. I typically add it before I put my substrate in. That's basically the only supplement I ever add when I use like ADA or stratum or any of that kind of substrate, or even like fluorite, or you know, all the brands out there. It's basically the only thing that I put underneath my substrate as just an added little supplement. My main reason is that it doesn't really do anything to the water. It doesn't promote any kind of algae growth, and it is really mineral rich. So maybe I am a little bit short on something. It does just sort of make it available down there. And realistically, I would say, does it really do anything? I don't know. It's probably placebo effect and just makes me feel a little bit better.
When's the last time you tested it without putting it down there?
I've just been using it so long that it's just normal now.
Right, so that's why you
in.
can't really know, like, am I missing it or aren't I?
Well, I did. Initially, when I brought it in, I was adding it to a mature tank, and I did notice a little bit of uptake in sort of like virility, I guess, in my plants. They sort of just, those that were in the substrate, not so much ones that were feeding off the water column, but the ones that were root feeding, it sort of kind of perked them up. They just kind of looked better after, like, you know, a week and a half, somewhere around that range. So I think that if I was to go about studying it scientifically, like I said, it might end up just being more placebo than anything. But
Yeah.
if there's a little bit of iron, and a little bit of this, and a little bit of that in there, it's obviously it's not going to harm anything. As I said, it's normally been so taken care of by the companies that manufacture it and send it out that it's more often than not going to be a big.
Barbara Jackson says it's a great flocculant. I haven't used it as a flocculant, but
Yep.
that essentially means it binds with other stuff to make it coarser to filter it out with a filter pad, which I know like the koi clay and stuff definitely is one of the uses of it. But then, so what was the other clay? The bentonite? Is that what you're...
He was asking if bentonite was the same
Bentonite.
clay, and I don't believe so. I think that's why it has a different name.
Dwayne Kitchell said it's like the clay they use for shrimp minerals.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that
I mean,
bentonite...
mostly it's a clay, so I think of it like, here's the delivery system. Like, yeah, it's in a clay consistency, and then it happens to have these minerals in it.
Yeah.
And then like, oh yeah, sure, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's more or less like identifiable, almost even by color, what you're looking for to add.
yeah,
You know, via
that
the
one's a
clays.
light gray. That one's red.
Yeah,
That
one's red. It generally has a bunch of iron in it. You know, but I mean, as far as usefulness goes, I wouldn't say that it's a requirement, but you could do a lot of cool stuff with it. I've always just added it to my tanks. And also, you know, the possibility that my shrimp colonies might make use of whatever extra,
little tasty
little,
tidbits.
little extra minerals and whatnot in there could be good for them. So I didn't necessarily think that it's not a negative thing, and it actually is super cheap. Like I said, that big bag that I got, it was like $8 or something, and it had like prime shipping, so it was like free shipping and all that kind of stuff. So
Here's one after your own heart. Do you think the ocean's resources will ever be depleted to the point that all fish keepers will join up and give back to the issues they're in? And I think that's the perfect time to tell, like, I don't know if you told it already because I didn't see everything, but did you talk about Heiko grandstanding yet?
Oh, I haven't talked about that.
Yeah, because he's like, I've been there.
I felt like we weren't supposed to, but I guess if we don't talk about any of the studies that they mentioned.
Yeah, we can't talk about the studies that are on the screen, but Heiko's talk, or his banter is all free.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
We could talk about that.
Basically,
Yeah.
Heiko, basically a presentation was being given on the state of, in particular what we were watching was saltwater stuff, and we're not allowed to mention any of the study or anything like that. So saltwater stuff was being talked about. And Heiko from the back of the room is basically, which if you don't know Heiko Blair, a little bit like Joel here, very opinionated, wants you to know his stance on it, and happens to be the guy that's been on, like, if I was to say 5,000 fishing expeditions, I probably am underestimating how many he's been on. He literally goes on one, like, every 2 or 3 days in a different country. Like, that guy, for whatever reason in life, has become the guy that, like, I go and look at fish. That's what I do for, like, the last 50 years straight.
Yeah.
And so he basically was ranting from the back of the room going, I was there last week. It is in way worse shape than any news outlet is reporting. The bleaching, the receding is like, I go there all the time. And from last year, visibly way worse than the year before. So.
Right. And, you know, the acidification in the ocean is the biggest issue that we are going to be encountering as a human race, and it is so easy to overlook what the oceans do because they're so large. We consistently see stories about you know, forests being burned down and stuff like that, and not to diminish the importance of those. Those forests are very much important. We need to stop eliminating the biodiversity of those. But oftentimes they say you're not gonna be able to breathe air if we keep cutting down these forests. And you know, lo and behold, if
I've
you
heard
actually
you go on this rant before.
if you look up the numbers,
Or
if
maybe
you
we
look
did in
up the
person.
numbers, how much oxygen comes from the ocean that we breathe?
I remember you just telling me, and it was way more than I thought, because I was like, you know, trees do the things. And then you hit me with facts, and I was like, well, I look dumb now. I remember that conversation me and you having, and I was like, well, I look dumb.
Yeah, and we would be sort of underselling the ocean if we said 70% of the air that we breathe comes from the function of the ocean. And yet we're consistently hit from news outlets that say, well, you know, there's this guy, Steve, that came out and he said that, you know, the temperature's not going up. That's what he thinks. He thinks it's not going up. And then we look through 1,000 reports, and then I sit here and, you know, I've gotten in arguments with these people before, the deniers that say nothing's happening, nothing is really happening. And the one thing that I've been able to point out that is look, this is, whether you think it's getting warmer or not, the acidification in the ocean is happening, and we will die once that really gets rolling. And, you know, hopefully that is something that people could at least grasp onto, that, you know, when you say climate change or you say global warming or whatever, people are like, it's cold outside, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, and they have a triggered response too. They've already formed an opinion to that,
right,
and they're going to stick to it, where if acidification, half the people at least be like, well, I'm not sure on that, because they don't already have like, well, my brother thinks global warming is or isn't happening. If no one's talking about something, a lot of people won't have already formed an opinion, so there's a chance for them to go, well, I did me some reading.
Right.
Turns out,
you know,
things are happening.
That's the thing, is that hopefully this is at least the bridge to kind of get an idea to some of those people that go, you know, that oftentimes people go, oh, hey, if global warming is real, I'll just move somewhere where it was cold. And, you know, if climate change is real, I'll just move somewhere where it was cold before.
I mean, whether it's real or not,
and now it'll be warm.
That line of logic is the worst thing I've ever heard.
It's unfortunate. That's the difference between weather and the climate. I know that it can be confusing for a lot of people. And, you know, once again, I will tell you, I don't have a degree in climatology. I don't have a degree in, you know, oceanology. I don't work at NOAA. I do know a lot of people that work at NOAA. I know that a lot of the papers and things that I read are they're put out there publicly. You can read them. They have been vetted by other scientists reproducing the studies that are being done. And, you know, the acidification of the ocean, people go, well, there's not going to be any cool reef to look at anymore. And you're like, brother, that's the small part. Like, looking at beautiful stuff is the small part. Suffocating slowly is going to be the big part. That's going to be the
pretty
big
pictures
issue.
go away, but we also lose the ability to see because we're dead.
Right. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Do I believe that we're running over the ocean at a catastrophic rate? Yes. Do I believe it's going to change in time? I would be really hard pressed to say I believe that we're going to fix it before it gets too far along. And that sounds defeatist, but I feel like we've pushed it so far, and we continue to push it every single day. You know, we just got back from Chicago. You can drive up and down the road in Chicago, and you can see all the buildings. Just, you know, just the nonstop production of stuff is just always going to be happening. And nobody's going to slow it. I mean, no one really wants to just not do what they're doing or whatever. So
I mean,
what's my answer from that, right? My answer from that is I'm going to try to live the best life that I can, and hopefully that collapse doesn't go so far that we're all dead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, more often than not, as we've seen with how deeply they're going into the fisheries, how far things are going. You know, basically one of those fisheries is going to collapse at some point in time, and one of those fisheries is going to be one of the really important ones that's going to stop people from being able to really do much in the ocean for an amount of time while it resets itself. And, you know, how am I going to safeguard myself? Well, I'm just going to keep doing the best that I can, realistically. That's just honestly the best that I can do, is keep doing that. I'm going to keep building more systems. I'm going to hopefully keep trying to spread at least just a message of going like, hey, let's all try to keep doing the best that we can. Let's try to source things as local as we can. Let's try to utilize our resources the best that we can. And hopefully that will mitigate something so that we actually have some kind of livable existence in the future. And once again, I've been wrong many times, and hopefully it's okay.
Well, this is a good stance for you to take, because if you're wrong, it's like saying like, "Oh, we're having burritos for dinner," and then you get there and you're like, "You lied to me. We're having a buffet of Mexican food and desserts." So you're like, "Oh, well, he was wrong, but it's better." So yeah, if you're horribly wrong, and it's not a problem, no worse for the wear.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and I also don't want to be like acting like I'm up on a pulpit trying to tell people whatever, da 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 da.
Get off your soapbox, bro.
I do realize that most people are just one person, right? And even from my own stance, it's like, well, what can I do on a daily basis? It's like, realistically, and Corey and I were talking about this earlier. It's like you make one small change, right? And you do something slightly different over a long period of time, and suddenly you wake up 9 months later and you go, wow, I'm so much further than I could have been.
We were talking about that, yeah.
We were talking about that. That was like, you could do this way and go, well, I kind of end up in the same place 9 months from now, or you could have done this little change that over time starts out this small, but then over time compounds right into this like, oh, instead of being down here, now you're, whoa, so that's really going to be the thing. Kevin Keener saying no farms, no food. Average age of farmer is 65. The next 15 years might be interesting. The unfortunate side is most farming is becoming automated. So the older farmers and stuff like that, they're being displaced by machines. And, one of the biggest issues out there for young people to try and get into agriculture is that you would not be able to buy a 100,000 acre farm as a 22-year-old fresh out of college or stuff like that. So one of the things that I'm working on is being able to try and show people how to do some small agricultural projects to try and see as you slowly move into expanding a agricultural project into something that could eventually be, maybe not your entire livelihood, but let's say maybe you're a part-time graphic designer, and then the other part of the time you spend farming some chickens and vegetables and other stuff. Is that something that could be a possibility in the future? Probably, for a lot of people. It's like maybe you only make $30,000 a year cash, but you live somewhere that works out great because you grow half of your food and blah blah blah.
If you live on a farm and you grow half your food, and your entertainment is filled with chasing chickens and just having random chicken antics, I mean that's a way of life.
Oh yeah, and anybody that's wondering, our chicken numbers will be going up at a very rapid rate pretty soon. So we will be bringing one of our families of chickens to come join our family of chickens.
You're bringing a family of chickens. What constitutes a family?
It's a current roost of chickens.
Minus male rooster, right? You can't have that, or can you have that?
Oh, there is no rooster. It's just chickens, all ladies.
All right.
It's all ladies all the time. We could bring in a rooster for like a week or something like that, and they would essentially...
Vacation rooster?
Well, we could bring in a rooster and it would essentially fertilize the eggs if we wanted to. You see what I'm saying?
Do you get roosters on loan?
You can, yeah. Yeah, you can actually go like, hey, this is the type... I want to breed like this type of rooster with my chickens, right? Because you're like, I want to have, just like a shrimps, right?
Yeah,
so say you have...
So some green Hulk chickens?
Right, yeah. So you're like, I want these shrimps, so I'm going to breed these ones, and then I'm going to make these offspring shrimps and hopefully get some that are going in that direction. It's the same kind of thing.
Can I rent a rooster just to annoy my neighbors for a week? Like just long enough for them to like file the complaint and be like, I don't even own a rooster, man.
Well, okay. Actually, I've been down this road before.
You've rented a rooster to annoy someone?
No. But it's a parallel story.
Okay.
So, and I was Snohomish County.
All right.
So, hey, same county.
All right. We're in the same zone.
Same bet town, same bet county. And in Snohomish County, I think you can have, at the time, now this is a while ago, I would have to check the RCWs to see what they look like now, but at the time, you could have up to 6 roosters, right?
Okay.
I'm sure it's probably changed since then. But I had a neighbor that had like 22 roosters.
Roosters.
Yeah, and they were all different roosters. They're all different kinds of roosters. They're like show
Any
roosters.
ladies or just all roosters all the time?
All roosters all the time.
Show
Show
an
roosters.
army then. Like a
And-
family is females, but I think that many male all roosters. That many roosters is an army.
It could be an army, yeah,
Yeah.
because that's all dudes.
That's
That's all
offensive.
angry dudes.
You're on the offense.
All offense, all the time.
Mhm.
And so the neighbor that I had was like a hoarder, you know, like had a like
Rooster
junk,
hoarder.
like junk all over the place, and a rooster hoarder. There was so many roosters back there.
'Kay.
And you know,
That doesn't even make sense. You can't even make more roosters.
it was one of those weird
that means
people
you're
that
actually buying them.
Well, it's one of those weird people that like hoarded stuff and then like glued things to the building, kind of weirdo.
'Kay.
That's a weird guy. So these roosters would constantly be going because one would go, then another one would go, then the next one, it all in response to each other.
Mhm.
So it was just like a good 20 hours out of the day, you could hear roosters going bananas, right? And
And
so
you got
one-
the pleasure of living next to this person.
so I kept knocking on this guy's door.
But he couldn't hear you because of the roosters.
No. He was one of those guys that would like open the blind up just a little bit and you'd go like, "I see you in there, man. I see you. Open the door." You know. And then the guy like he wouldn't. You know, like the curtain would just close, you know? Like and after like many weeks of trying to get a hold of this guy, eventually it was like, "All right, we have to call the police cuz this is ridiculous." Then the police came. Then they brought the what do you call it? The
Animal control?
the pound people, like
Animal control, yeah.
They brought the animal control there, and then they realized that there was
His per capita
he had
roosters
too
was
many
off.
he had too many roosters, so they were like, "Look, you got to get rid of these roosters," and he was like, "I'm not going to get rid of them." So they brought in like a strike force.
Like, so it's like a movie and the SWAT team van shows up and people
It
start
was
unloading.
like the animal version of the SWAT team. They all came in and confiscated all the roosters, and then
Was it like actual SWAT or was it just like 40 people with... I feel like
they were all wearing the same outfit.
I feel like they,
Like
they
the-
show up with
they were wearing the, like,
stick
coverall.
with the lasso at the end.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to catch these roosters.
Yeah, they had those.
All right, an army of those then. Okay.
And they had the coveralls too, the matching coveralls, the green ones, you know,
All
like
right.
dark green. So they look good. You know, they're all matching. You know,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is good.
You got
Um,
pictures with them, I'm
And
sure.
then they brought in people that like broke down all of the rooster cages that were out there. There's this
So
crazy
here's my real
contraption.
question: was the guy like taking care of these roosters, or were they like neglected, or was it like, I love roosters, I'm really taking care of them, I just have too many?
He was taking care of them, I think, to a
All right.
degree, because they're roosters. They don't really need that much care, honestly.
Okay.
I mean,
They eat rocks.
it's one of
and
the
stuff,
crazy things
so-
about chickens. You sort of just like give them an area, you feed them a little bit, make sure their water's clean. And they're sort of self-sustaining. Like they clean themselves. They, you know, they poop in their coop like a little bit, but they prefer to poop outside. They're not the cleanest animal in the world, but they're certainly not the dirtiest animal. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And they do kind of just learn from each other because there's just like so many generations of living in coops. Like they just sort of know, like,
The rooster before me knew
Oh,
to
it's
hate
getting-
you, so I hate you.
it's getting dark outside. Like they just go in their coop. You don't tell them to go in there. They just go in there. It's you ain't never worked with animals till you worked with a catch pole. That's right.
Yeah, you know the name of that thing already.
But
so.
they are a little bit goofy. You know, they're a little bit goofy, but I will tell you this. I know Corey was asking me. I never did the crack and egg side by side.
Yeah, I was-
store-bought versus
I'm pretty
mine.
sure, yeah, I put
And I
you to
actually
that test.
have some store-bought eggs on hand now, and on Monday I'm going to do the side
You're
by side.
insane.
I'm going to do the side by side, show you what it's all
What
about.
caused you to buy eggs? Shortage of
Um,
egg production?
So as you go into the fall, the chickens will stop laying as many eggs, and it's
Maybe
light.
you just eat less eggs.
Well, it's light related, like
Yeah.
the day gets shorter, so you can actually make them lay more eggs by just putting a light in their coop.
Yeah, which you already said you didn't want to do. But what if you just went light on the eggs while they were light on the eggs?
Well, we were baking a bunch of stuff, so we needed some eggs, and that week I was hammering down eating eggs like every day. So we'd gotten
Did
behind.
each egg taste like defeat
No, it feels like victory.
when you eat a purchased egg?
Oh yeah, the purchased eggs feel like defeat.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was asking. Yeah. I was like, why? I love paying my monies for these eggs when I could have gotten them from my things that cost me money.
That's right. Yeah. But I don't know what we're talking about. Now we're talking about
I got a real question for you, because I feel like you know the answer to this. So, let me paint the story. If you're driving down the freeway in Washington, there happens to be one particular house with a giant Betty Page mural painted on this house. You're aware, I'm sure.
I am.
Someone asked if you painted it. I suspect you did not paint it, but I suspect you may know who painted it, just because you seem like the guy that's been in Seattle a lot and was like, no, I heard about the guy that did that.
I can't remember who it was that did it. I've never met the person that did it, but I know some people that know that.
I think less of you
that
now.
person. They're still in Seattle, and you could actually just look them up. They're local muralists. Personally, the style is a little bit weird, and I always just thought it was kind of distasteful because of, like, I guess it's just like my personal art critique or whatever. Was that I think initially the guy charged him like $2,500 or something like that, which was a long time ago. Like nowadays, if you wanted to just get some signage painted, like say you wanted to get Aquarium Co-op painted like on the side of the wall really big, $2,500 wouldn't be that much. But when that went up was like 15 years ago.
That's like someone going, yeah, it's gonna be 12 grand.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of the thing. So I always felt like, wow, that dude got paid a lot to do that. And it just didn't feel like the quality for that amount of money. Does that make sense? It just didn't feel like that. And then on the other side of it was like Betty Page was such an iconic, such an iconic figure that I feel like if you're gonna do a painting of an icon, it should be maybe a little higher, just quality or something. I don't know. But it did get defaced.
It did, yeah.
It did get defaced, and the guy actually came and repainted it for free.
Wow.
So bonus to that.
Yeah.
Because it was like somebody defaced it, somebody came by and spray painted it. This is like a, as I said, this was painted like 15 years ago. The warranty is gone. Right.
Well, to be fair, how many Betty Page murals have you sold? They might come with like a 40-year warranty. You just not in that
maybe that's
business.
The initial high price.
I mean, maybe all of those come with like a 40-year guarantee.
Well, I don't.
Just Betty Pages.
No, I would do murals that I do. I would normally give like a 3-year to 5-year, dependent on the UV exposure.
For real, you gave that?
What's that?
For real, you gave that timeline of it?
3 to 5 years. Yeah, depending.
And if someone had defaced it, you'd come fix it?
No, not if someone defaced it, but I would come fix it if someone defaced it. Like, yes, I'll come repair it, not necessarily for free,
right?
But yes, I would be the person. Like, don't call someone else because I know what paint colors is in it and all that kind of stuff. You know
and what if they like just fixed the one part and made it worse? And you're like, yes, Corvus Ocean did this. And you're
that's weird.
Like, oh,
you're like,
God.
dude,
what did you do to her nose?
What are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, like as far as like for color wash and all that kind of stuff, dependent on the UV exposure, I would generally give like a 3 to 5 year on the coloring and paint peel and stuff like that.
Next up, we have monster trucks. Growing up,
what's next,
big
guys?
fan
Monster
of Gravedigger. Yeah, went to the Tacoma Dome to see it.
Ooh,
they got me with the Sunday. I also saw Gladiators at the Tacoma Dome.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that show is wicked cool when you're 12. I'll tell you what.
I tell you what. All right, let's see if we got any fan questions by the time we get to the end.
I was taking fan questions. They asked about monster trucks.
Well, I said, well, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know that. I mean, I'm guessing that I don't know nothing about monster trucks. Did you know that they steer the front wheels and the back wheels steer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did know that.
All right.
Yeah.
Kevin Keener saying, "Tell the truth, Joel. Did you paint the Betty Page house?" No, that wasn't me. I forget the guy's. I forget the artist's name. I just don't remember it. I don't think he went on to do a whole lot more.
It was Gerald Saber.
Iconic type stuff. The guy I would say, if you were looking for a Seattle artist that does awesome stuff,
Which I'm not.
His name is Jeff, but he goes by Weirdo. So if you look up,
Is he Jeff or Geoff?
if you look up artist Weirdo, oop,
Artist Weirdo.
where's my tea?
Yes, you can ask about fish stuff.
Your keyboard's weird.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't it be awesome if all my keyboards had keys that were changed that only I was privy to? It's like a anti-theft device almost.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I knew his password, but the keys aren't in the right place. It's impossible to log in. No.
So if anybody's looking for a Seattle artist to paint murals, I would recommend the artist named Weirdo. That is Jeff. He does insane good stuff. He does photorealism, which is not my necessary forte in mural.
What does
type
that
stuff.
mean? That means he
It
could
looks-
paint me on that building.
Yes, looks like the photo 40 feet tall, with a bunch of crazy stuff also going on.
I see.
He does his photorealism. It looks like a
Like
crazy
realism?
photo that's painted. Yeah, it's weird. It's well, let's see. I found a bunch of BBA on some recently planted crypts. Seems to only affect the old leaves. Should I just trim these off? Yes, if you have some crypts with some old leaves kind of hanging, dangling towards the substrate, you can go ahead and just pinch those off if you want to keep them just looking a little bit better. Just as far as the aesthetic, or maybe you do get a little bit of algae on there. It's always good
yeah.
to good to notice that kind of algae right when it starts going, because that means that you probably have just a little bit of an imbalance, realistically. BBA is actually, or string algae, long hair algae. That one is really good for noticing that something's going on, because if you notice. Let's see, on my, what aquarium, when was it last time? A little while back, I had a little bit of tiny hair algae all of a sudden pop up from the day before on the 150. And it was because I had switched over to the Fluval Plant and Light, which is probably considerably more light than none.
Yeah. Oh, the none?
was like,
I would say it's a touch bit more than none.
It's a touch bit more than,
Yeah.
than some janky lights I had on there, realistically. I had like two T5s on there, basically, in the meantime. But so that's always something that you should definitely, if you see something like that, if you do have it just a little bit on those old leaves, that is a great way to actually just get your hands down in there, pinch them off right at the nub. If they're old enough on a crypt, you can actually just kind of peel them downward, and they will generally pop off.
like
'cause
layers of an onion.
Yeah, like the peels of an onion.
So no known problems with cutting crypts under the water? Because I know you've been on a Anubius will kill us all spree lately.
That's what they'll kill us all.
Yeah.
Crypts, no, I've never had. I've
Yeah,
never
me either.
had any kind of issue with any toxins or anything like that being released by them. I think typically they're if they were to have a sort of save me response, I think it would be related to just sending out more runners under the substrate. If they felt like they were being eaten too much. When I've noticed that before, so when I've clipped them off, it's sort of what I've seen propagates kind of a little more under gravel runner pop up over here kind of thing. When I've
That
had to
makes
clip the
sense.
whole,
I mean-
when I've had to like clip the whole top off, because I'm like, dude, I
You're
don't
sending
know
a
if that,
signal like, stay here and you die, so it's like, oh, let me go over here and try not to die.
Yeah, that seems to have been
Yeah.
the crypt response. It doesn't seem to have any kind of chemical response.
Best canister filter for a 75-gallon tank? I would buy an FX. I'd buy an FX4.
FX4, yeah.
And I would probably buy it on Black Friday, which, by the way, someone asked earlier, will I be doing Black Friday deals? Yes, but my deals start on Thanksgiving because you'll be bored and in a turkey coma, and I'll just be talking at your ear holes for like a long time straight. And so we try and do it all then, so I can go in later that night, start packing, and then we have everyone there for Black Friday anyway. And so yeah, I'm sure shenanigans will happen midday Thanksgiving. No idea what I'm putting on sale yet. I was actually talking with Rapashi earlier today. Maybe work something out there. But that's what you got to do. You got to kind of work on things. You guys want to, cut a deal? I'll cut a deal. We'll make things happen, do stuffs. And so, yeah, hopefully lots of good deals coming up. Hopefully it's not just like, buy a rooster, get 3 roosters free. Not everyone needs a rooster, I'm told.
I need chicken.
What's up?
I need chickens and ducks.
Yeah, I know. It's roosters, though.
I can't wait to get ducks, bro.
Why? I mean, I know there's duck eggs.
Duck eggs. So delicious.
Are male ducks a problem?
Are male ducks a problem? No.
They don't do any weird, like, time to get up duck things?
No, they just go like...
But do they fertilize all the eggs? So then you're like, you can't just eat them? Does that
You can just eat them. Either way.
You just eat them before they develop? Is that how that works?
Yes.
All right.
But ducks, female ducks are the same way. They'll lay eggs regardless.
Yeah, but male ducks look so cool.
They do.
Are all male ducks mallards? Is that what do they call it? Male duck?
It's a mallard, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Are all male ducks mallards, or is it only that type of ducks that we have around here that are mallards?
Well, gosh. I don't
Someone
know.
smarter than us knows
Someone
that in the
smarter
chat.
than us knows.
They will let us know if
Yeah.
all male ducks are mallards or just the crazy type we have in Washington are mallards.
Oh, Smutzig Disc is asking suggestion on cool plecos that stay around 12 inches or so. That guy just put one in that thing over there.
Yeah. The Titan Pleco. I like green and blue phantoms a lot at the 12-inch. Well, they're less than 12-inch, but that foot or under. Mallard is a type, we're told.
Mallard is just a type?
Mm-hmm.
Male ducks are drakes. Oh! Oh, legit, they're drakes.
Dang.
Oh, smooth. Eurobeth and River Life. Oh, River Life is here. What's up, man? Everybody says drakes, and I guess we're both. Everyone else is smarter than us, which is good.
I need to up my game in waterfowl.
Well, I'm just saying. I feel like that's good.
That everyone's smarter than us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It means like future's looking bright.
I'll tell you what though. When I'm not in front of the camera and I've got Google by my side, I look pretty smart.
Right.
Like, oh, that guy, he said something wrong. Hold on. Let me make sure I type in the right thing.
Google, the great equalizer.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't even think of drakes. Yeah. I mean, it just feels like mallards was the right way.
It felt totally right.
But it's right. That is a type of duck. But I just thought, I don't know.
I think it's because whenever you see, like, the super colored up ducks, you're like, yeah, that's a mallard. And you're thinking, oh, that's the male duck, which it is because it's super colored up.
Right.
But that's just a type of duck. So that's our own.
Must be it.
My bad.
We don't have that many ducks around here. Oh.
No.
You guys, the timer.
You have an alarm?
The timer went off. It says it is time to end the show.
You needed to scream, like, Danger Will Robinson or something.
I mean, it's just,
or like,
it's gotta be
like
quiet.
a dive, like a dive, 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 and like red flashing lights. When we build a new studio, I want that. Just so you're aware, if you're doing any work for me, you need to look at me and go, where are we putting the spinny red thing and the dive, dive, dive speaker? It needs to be mind-blowingly, like, deafening. So even we're in pain, so we have to close out the show.
Oh, so we have to end the show? All right.
Oh, God, thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
We got 2 quick comments from the Patreon here real quick. We got James Dye from the Patreon says, if anyone needs any info on clay/rocks, I'm a geologist. Yeah. Good, James. We need a new geologist on the team. As you guys know, no longer, many years ago, but no longer have a geologist on the team.
No certified rock hound?
Used to have a certified geologist rock hound on the team, which we don't anymore. So maybe James Dye will be our new geologist and can send us some nerd out stuff on the Patreon. If you haven't been to the Patreon, check it out. That's
where the cool kids hang out.
This show is brought to you by the Patreonizers and in conjunction with the Aquarium Co-op. If you need to buy some plants, if you need to buy some fertilizer, if you need to buy some supplements, head to aquariumcoop.com. Check it out. Those guys are dope.
Yes.
So, not to say that I've ever met them or anything like that, but they are a sponsor from the show, so big thanks to those guys. They have really quality products, and big thanks to the patronizers. So we're at 116, and if you'd asked me a couple months ago, I would have said you're crazy that I would have 116 people.
I still think you're crazy. You have 116 people that will watch
kicking in.
you.
As you guys know, we are getting rid of the we've eliminated all of the advertising going on except for the snafus occasionally. Sometimes things accidentally get uploaded with an opening ad for whatever reason. We slowly just trying to Hulk smash all the settings to be correct from the future on out. Also, we're going to be changing the what's the word? The goals on the Patreon a little bit, because they're a little bit out of date. One of them we were trying to hit in order to go to the Chicago Aquatic Experience. I threw that all on the credit card, so we got to come up with a new goal.
Oh,
like
a 4-pound bag of Reese's?
Like a 4-pound bag of gummy worms. You know what I'm saying?
Reese's. That's really expensive.
Reese's is expensive?
Attainable, but expensive. I bet you if I went to Costco, it's like $27.
Those Haribo gummy bears.
Yeah.
But if you guys want this show to continue to expand with more collaborations like this and other people, I know I've been contacted by a few other people that want to come on the show, which
I find that hard to believe.
We're going to vet them. We're going to pick them up. We're going to shake them around a little bit.
Put them in the rooster room.
Give them a sniff. They trustworthy? I don't know.
See if we can break them with rooster sounds.
We're going to use some CIA operative kind of background
That's actually
checks.
the new studio. It's actually just a vetting station.
Right. it's have you seen, like, you know, on those space shows, right, where they go into the toxic area and it's all like glassed off with, the plexiglass, and then they have that room that
and
goes,
there's
they
only
have the
two
room,
armholes.
They have the room.
Like you have to be doing something.
Well, no, when you go
armholes.
in there in the suit, right?
Oh yeah.
And then you come through and there's that room in between where it goes and it drops all that smoke on them, which somehow the smoke,
it's the fogger, man.
The smoke like cleans them off or something.
Yeah, like crazy alien bugs hate fog.
They can't stand it.
That's the
moisture. The moisture's just
and then
too
the
much.
the next room is where it's really hot water and then like a steel brush broom scrub you down. And then after that you go to the next room and it's just where we stand there putting our arms through those like arm gloves, touching things that look like the world would die if something went wrong. If you can make it through that, then you can come on the show.
Right.
None of it makes any sense. But if you can come to the other side going, I get why you do that, and you get the joke, then you get to be on the show. That's how it works.
Right.
Yeah.
Once you've sorted it out, then you'll be able to do it.
Yeah, if you get weirded out, that's the metric of like, you're clearly not going to make it through an hour of this.
I don't know if you're going to be able to
if
handle
you can't walk these 3 rooms that make no sense.
It is about 900 degrees in here, so you got to be able to handle that.
Yeah,
there is a strange gurgling noise back there. You got to be able to handle that too.
Hey, we're gonna fix that.
Well, I'm just saying, there's a lot of things that you got to be able to handle here. We got a lot of screens. We got a lot of cookies. There's a lot of, there's a lot of elements that are going on around here. And BC Fish Room was writing in and say it would be awesome if you could pull off a live stream in character as Dr. Fishley Strangelove.
I don't know that.
Which have you guys seen the some of the videos where I talk in a weird accent?
I didn't realize he had an official name.
Yeah.
Jimmy last night, that was the first time he heard you be in that voice. I'm like, he's done it before, man. Didn't he do it like in the? Did you do it in the Fluval Light unboxing video?
I believe so. I've done it in a few.
Yeah.
I've done it in a few, and at some point in time, realistically, I think that's going to be one of the goals on the Patreon. If we can get to the $1,500 mark, I'm going to do a whole show
I think
full
you
character.
Easily do a whole show. I
in
feel
full
like
character. You think it's easy? It is not easy. I got to do the whole outfit and everything.
Well, yeah. Once you
guys don't know behind
character,
the scenes, I have to put on this whole elaborate outfit.
You have to get into, what do they call it? You're a method actor, right?
Method actor.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
fully.
has to get the whole mindset. He's a method actor.
Yeah. To do strange experiments out in the shop.
Yeah, it's a whole 4-hour process to get the right mind frame.
Completely together. But I believe that will be the updated goal on the Patreon to try and hit that $1,500 mark, mainly so that we can afford to go to some more conventions and actually have conversations about that also. But I'm feeling like the reward is we hit that $1,500 mark. I'm going to do a whole show as Dr. Fishley Strangelove, right?
I think it needs you more than a show. I think you need a 1-hour movie.
A 1 hour movie?
I mean, I realize I just made that like infinitely harder, but I need a cinematic.
Well, I would definitely do more videos.
Can't be live stream. It's got to be a full on like a 1 hour production.
Right.
Like,
I'll do more productions.
like, what's Dr. Weirdo doing at Taco Bell? And you literally just have to like do
well,
it.
it's like one of those things that like people have been going like, well, why do you need fans to fund stuff? And I go,
so
well,
I can be weirder.
so that I can be weirder and I can make more weirder stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, yesterday I spent, 6 hours loading a truck. I could have spent 6 hours getting some Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange visits Taco Bell.
Doctor Strange
and interviews people.
Yeah. Man on the street style. Real quickly before we sign off here, we're about to hit the sign off button. We had a couple of super chats here. One from Tim Lewis saying just a thank you for the entertainment tonight with a little smiley face guy, which thank you very much.
Hey, I
It's
got
very
some
much
good labs.
appreciated.
Labs?
Lats?
I'm going with labs.
Did you blast your lats?
No, the plural of laughing is labs.
Right.
Past tense. Got some good labs out of tonight.
Riff raff voice. It is kind of a riff raff voice, that is for sure. CNH Aquatics, watch out. Deb Schramm's looking for you. She wants to talk to you. Find Deb Schramm out there. And a $2 super chat from Jim Meeker for the random escalator shot. Thank you very much. Everybody needs to ride those escalators. That's how you get better at aquascaping. It's one of those. It's one of those secrets.
So wait, if we're gonna talk about escalators, and that's the key to aquascaping, what do you get from the airport moving sidewalk? It's like an escalator that doesn't go vertical.
Yeah,
what
but
does that do? Time travel?
Well, no, it's a slight assist in aquascaping, but how you level up in aquascaping is the escalator. Little known trick.
Is that where you learn the golden rule of thirds?
Yes,
On that escalator.
on the escalator.
Good to
Right.
know.
All right, guys. Well, we got to get back to work here on secret surprises
We do
that are
got
coming up
work we've been putting
from the
in.
coop here someday. Someday he'll show you the surprises that we're working on.
When it's all done.
Currently, none of your business. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? None of your business.
We're putting in work, though, I tell you that.
Hopefully everybody has a fantastic Friday. Stay safe out there this weekend, and hopefully I'll have time to get some weekend videos out to you guys. But we'll see, because I'm going to be hanging out with Vicky, because last weekend I was at the Aquatic Experience so that I could
Were
meet you
you?
guys. So most likely won't be seeing each other until Monday. Yeah, so sad. But stay safe out there. Don't light off any fireworks like a jerk in the middle of the night. Because I will just gladly come tell you that you're being a jerk.
What if we just, I know how to fight you off already. I just lower the blinds and then look at you and then go, and then you walk away, apparently. I already know how to defend myself.
Yeah, just stay inside. But here's the thing. If you're inside lighting off your fireworks, the more the merrier.
I'm just saying, I knew a guy, I'm not saying who would light fireworks from inside the house. He'd use a, what do you call it? A curtain rod, that part. You put a bottle rocket at the end of it, you light it, stick it out the window.
Ooh.
Didn't have to go outside lighting off fireworks.
That probably
And then no one knows where it's coming from.
That
It's
guy's
like a
house
sneak
probably
attack.
smells terrible.
I don't know if he's standing at the window. I don't know. I
feel like me saying
was a
that
kid that
guy's
looked
house
super
was
cool.
terrible, and then you said, "Well, I don't know." I might have put a clue as to who this person was.
Wasn't me.
Oh, wasn't you?
May have been someone I knew though.
Right.
Just saying.
Clues.
Might have been cool.
I'm like Dr. Sleuth.
Might be
over
a
here.
cool thing when you're
I'm gonna
12.
Sleuth it out.
Just doing fireworks outside out the window. You know. So.
All right, everybody, have a fantastic night out there. Corey's got to hit the button if he can find it.
I could find it.
Later.
Bye-bye.